Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles. I'm going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm going to talk about, was it 1D&D? Is that what they're calling the new version of D&D? The new player's handbook, and more artwork being leaked from it. And I don't know who Dungeons and Dragons is for at this point. I have no idea. I think they're trying really hard to appeal to gay baristas in Portland or something. Like, it's very obvious that Wizards of the Coast is trying to appeal to a certain demographic, right? And they've been trying more and more to appeal to that demographic, going all in on the Tumblr crowd, the Portland crowd. No offense to anyone in Portland, by the way. I love you all. I do. I know we have people that listen to us from Portland, but I'm just saying, theater kids, not your typical role-playing gamer historically. And I blame Critical Role. I do. I don't blame Matt Mercer himself, but I think the culture around it that grew up or learned to play D&D as theater. And that's not really what it was. It started out as a war game. And I know that's problematic. It was started as a war game by a bunch of middle-aged white men from the Midwest. And I know that WotC wishes that were not the case. But we're going to talk about this new version of D&D, and I don't even know what I'm looking at, guys. I've given up. I got broken. I was broken about 2 years ago, I think, with was it the Strixhaven campaign setting where you basically do D&D prom, but now the whole thing is that. Like, the whole game is that. That's what this is. And this new player's handbook, just, God, it's insane. We're gonna look at some of the art from this, and look, if this is your thing, you want to play this game, that's fine. But this is not Dungeons and Dragons anymore. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know what this is. I know that we have had this trend toward what we call it, infantilization. I think Grums was actually talking about it because he worked on World of Warcraft, and he said that the orcs were always cartoonish, but they weren't Disney, and now everything has kind of got that infantile vibe to it. The LOL so random humor that we're seeing in comics and everything post Joss Whedon, right? So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're working on our own game engine, adventure engine. A lot of people have been asking us about this. We have a lot of people signed up for notifications too, which is so weird. We're testing. We're testing. We're not going to release it until we know we've got something that's going to work. That being said, I can guarantee you that this is going to be a very middle of the road game engine. If you want to add, gay baker baristas to your campaign setting, you're more than welcome to. We're not going to tell you can't, but it's not going to be explicitly stated in the handbook either. So this brings me to this. More artwork has been leaked. These are apparently two gay dwarves. Are we allowed to call them dwarves now? Because I don't think do we have races anymore? Because now they're doing this whole lineage thing. But they look like two baker dwarves with each other's beards tattooed on their arms. Yeah. I got nothing. So this came from Drunken Armadillo Press. So I gotta give a hat tip. This is indicative of the art that we're seeing in the new player's handbook. And we're going to talk about this because I don't know who D&D is actually for, because the audience that normally would eat this up, and we had a lot of people jump into the comments on my thread on Twitter that were like, it's just you're trying to be more diverse and inclusive and get rid of all the racism from D&D. I'm like, yeah, by turning the orcs into Mexican tropes. Yeah, that's totally diverse and inclusive. But so we've got the kinder, gentler, more diverse and inclusive orc familia. Here we've got side shave, lesbian ant orc, and gender fluid purple haired child orc, and librarian orc with a hawk, and plus sized orc. And and then we've got Juan Valdez over here. But then there's more. Just wait, there's more. We've got, these are the characters. We've got Sherlock Holmes. Of course, we've got the battle wheelchair, which in some cases I think could be pretty cool. I'm going to be honest. I think in some cases it could be cool. We got a pirate, a couple of pirates. Is that what we're doing here? Why is this guy dressed like Sherlock Holmes? Why is he Sherlock Holmes? I got nothing. Somebody said that these paintings actually remind them of like Jehovah's Witness propaganda, where you've got these diverse people sitting down eating together at the table and all the tracks, but like, this is not what I think of. I think of D&D, but they make sure that they've got like every potential kind of person, white people, black people, Asian people, and purple people. I don't think they have any purple people eaters in D&D now. Then of course we've got the bakers. Hey, good looking. What's cooking? Brian Urso says, where is Larry Elmore and Clyde Caldwell? I don't think they can afford them. But let's go out to this, because again, I don't know who this is for, because this audience, right, Wizards of the Coast has pissed them off. They pissed them off with AI. They pissed them off with the OGL, which I'll totally give you that one. That was bullshit. They pissed them off with the Pinkertons. And they're trying so hard to be diverse and inclusive that it's basically a parody of D&D. Like if 10 years ago, if you told me, hey, make a D&D type campaign setting to appeal to Tumblr as a joke, this is what I would have done. And God. Yeah, so I was talking to Grums here a little bit. Yeah, they're gay baker baristas with each other's beards tattooed on their arms, I guess, because that's something that people do in real life. Talking to Black Sage D about how they've tried very, very hard to push Gary Gygax and company, TSR, out of Wizards of the Coast. And they actually threw shade. It was so disgusting. They had an interview with the people that are behind D&D at this point. And they were actually throwing shade at the guys who came up with the game. They said, yeah, it was a bunch of white dudes from the Midwest, and they basically weren't as socially aware as we are here at Wizards of the Coast current year. And just remember, you didn't make this game, WotC, Hasbro. You didn't make this game. You acquired it. TSR made this game. It was enjoyed for quite some time before you acquired it. And some people believe that once you acquired it, you kind of ran it into the ground. But, I can't wait for the new Portlandia campaign setting. Who has a tattoo of their own beard? I don't know. They're married. I'm not making a joke. Okay, well, maybe they are. Maybe they are married in Portlandia. I don't know. I don't know where they live, but I don't want to adventure there. Those are dwarves. What the F? Modern D&D sucks so much. Gay hipster barista dwarves, to be precise. Yeah, there you go. So this person here, I thought this is kind of funny. They're trying to show a more inclusive look. You can still play hard if you want. No reason to be mad. I'm not mad. I'm just telling you, this game is not for me. I'm not mad. They just want to make sure people know the racist parts are gone. Yeah. The racist parts are totally gone, including the Mexican orcs. This person hears this by slapping sombreros and ponchos on orcs after all the manufactured discourse about how it's wrong to use orcs as a stand-in for real-life ethnic groups. Not at my table, they're not. They're pandering to a specific crowd, says John Adams, which is what being inclusive always turns into. This isn't for a general audience. No, that's what I'm saying. Wizards should just come out and say that normal people aren't wanted anymore. I pandered to a different specific crowd before. No, it didn't. Also, we haven't seen the whole thing. There could be plenty of art you like and just didn't see yet. It'll be okay. Again, who is this for? Because a lot of hardcore gamers, they left D&D years ago. They went to Pathfinder. They went to other systems. Maybe you'll go to Adventure Engine. But, I'm just saying, that'd be nice. But, so they already left. And even Critical Role left after the OGL debacle. And the Pinkertons and the AI art. And it wasn't even the AI art so much as it was that they got caught lying about it multiple times and they laid a bunch of people off. I mean, who is D&D for? The people that you're pandering to at this point, they don't want your shit anymore, Wizards. But, I feel like D&D as a tabletop game is on life support until they figure out what they're going to do to turn it into a shitty mobile app. And I've been saying for the last couple of years, and people thought it was crazy, but I've been saying for the past couple of years, that is the end game. That is the goal. That is what they want. They want to turn D&D, the D&D brand, into a shitty mobile app, and they want to upcharge everybody. And if you play in D&D, you're going to have to get your monthly D&D subscription and bust out your D&D app. And apparently now they're even testing like AI dungeon masters. They want everybody to play through the virtual tabletop, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. But they keep saying, like Chris Cox keeps saying, they made a bunch of money off of Monopoly Go, so they're gonna keep milking it. They're gonna milk them damn dwarfs, milk them hard. So again, just a reminder: the player's handbook now focuses on your backstory, your tragic backstory, which never really mattered that much in D&D, at least when I played. Now, I played a long time ago. I started a long time ago. In fact, I started so long ago that this was my first introduction to D&D. The beloved red box, which I still to this day look at as the kind of the gold standard for a basic set for somebody getting into role-playing games. It was fantastic. It was so good. Maybe I'm looking at it through rose-tinted glasses, but it got me into eventually Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which had much better art on the cover, not necessarily in the book. I was looking through the book and I was kind of like, yeah, the art wasn't as good. Wasn't as good as I remember it being. Some of the stuff's just kind of like, Actually, there wasn't a whole lot of art in the advanced. That's how you knew it was advanced. There wasn't a whole, there we go. We got some spot illustrations here and there. But yeah. But anyway, this was like, it was like you're an adventurer, and they had some diversity in there, but, it was up to you. How you played the game was up to you. And they always let you know that you were more than welcome to create your own rules if it didn't suit your table. And they never had to explicitly state like, oh, well, if you want to play with gay characters, we have to have a rule for that. We have to make sure that, the orcs aren't problematic. And, but it was a game. It doesn't feel like a game now. It just feels like, let's pretend, like a fanfic generator. I miss the gamification. I miss the stakes. I miss, permadeath. If you screwed up, you could die permanently. Actually, some of the art in the basic set was actually very, very good, I thought. But it still holds up to this day. My main Advanced Dungeons & Dragons player's handbook, that was actually second edition, because I was coming into my teens when the second edition came out. Well, no, I guess it came out a few years before that. But yeah, by the time I was ready for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, like the first edition stuff had been gone for a couple of years. So I had like everything. I had like everything for second edition. I had player's handbook and DM's guy. I was a DM, so I was always a DM. I was always a guy that got stuck buying everything. But all the monsters, man, even for worlds that we didn't play in, campaign sayings we never played in, like Spelljammer and stuff like that, I'd go buy the compendiums just because I thought it was cool to have this big ass binder with a bunch of monsters. And I am pretty sure I had every monsters compendium set. God, I miss that. But we can't even leave that alone, right? We can't even have that perfect memory, because to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast thought it would be a good idea to show you the face of the warrior from the red box set. Now, I don't know about you. But I don't think it was a thick black woman that was on the cover of the red box set. But we have to retcon it, because there's just too many white folks in this. But I'm not, are you getting that vibe from this character? I'm not getting that vibe. So yeah, they've chased off the old heads like myself. They've chased off, I think, casuals, because it's gotten ridiculously complex. You used to just be able to buy a box set or, a couple of books, and now there's so much shit you have to buy. And they've chased off the Tumblr crowd, right? Because they're going to go where Critical Role goes. And Critical Role has also abandoned D&D. So what you got? You know, what you got left? Oh yeah, there's dance fighting now. Apparently, there's dance fighting. But it's interesting because I remember this article coming out and people said this was hyperbole. This is from Wargamer, where a D&D historian said that the RPG golden age is dead, that people aren't going to all be playing Dungeons and Dragons as the default. It used to be D&D was the game, and then you would branch out into other games like GURPS or, you know, Star Wars. That was big. Warhammer was just kind of coming into its own when I was playing heavy, and you know, we had Vampire the Masquerade, which I played. I thought that was pretty good, but it was never D&D. And now I think it's like D&D is just the very commercial corporate RPG system, but the people that are really into gaming, they're really serious about gaming, aren't going to be playing D&D. And that's all across the board. So you got rid of people, the old heads, and you got rid of Tumblr all in one fell swoop. So good luck with that. I don't know how this is going to go for them. I really don't, but I'm not interested. I haven't been interested. I bought some 5e stuff to try to get my kids into 5e. They weren't interested. I went back and bought actually basic fantasy, and then they were interested. Then they were interested in gaming. They did not like the 5e set. I'm not even kidding. But there we go. I'm going to wrap this up. I went longer than I thought I was going to go. I just like, I don't even know what to think. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just like I feel the same way about Star Wars and Marvel Comics and all the stuff I loved as a kid growing up. Like, it's all gone. That era that I grew up in, it's gone. And it's never going to come back. And now we just have these corporate brands parading around in the skin suit that has the name of the stuff we loved as kids, but definitely not the heart and soul of the stuff we loved as kids. The era's gone. The Dungeons and Dragons I played came from TSR. TSR is gone. It got absorbed into Wizards of the Coast. The people associated with it, for the most part, have been pushed out of Wizards of the Coast. So the game I loved, the game I played, it doesn't exist anymore. You know, it really doesn't. And it's a shame. But, you know, we can always go back. We can always buy the old stuff, play the old stuff. We can always do homebrew. We can always look for alternatives. And there are a lot of alternatives out there. I don't have any illusions about that. But yeah, I think it's time to make new stuff. It really is. And just leave these legacy brands in the rearview mirror. Let Darwinism do its thing. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.